Hey, I haven't made a video in a while, so let me adjust the mic. That's mostly because I'm just a lazy fuck, but you know, I just decided not to. Maybe I just wasn't bored enough to do it. I just didn't, and now that I don't actually have a lot of time to do this, I'm doing it again. I'm the best at time management, so yeah. I'm I mean, I guess it's because I've been playing a lot of really good games, and I haven't actually been bored enough to make a video. Like I've been playing, I finished Painkiller, which is fucking awesome, and then I played a little bit of Viscera Cleanup Detail, which always fun to be a space janitor cleaning up like dead bodies and shit. It's fun. You know, it's just mindless fun, really. The same thing with Painkiller, you're just shooting a bunch of shit. Well, like demons. I mean, they're just really good game. I played like Chrome, which is like an FPS on Steam. It's actually really bad, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I don't know why. I mean, when you move, it feels like you're skating. I It's really weird, and the graphics are really shit, which I mean, I understand it's an old game, but it came out the same year as Half-Life 2, and it looks like almost as good as Quake 2, which I don't understand that. I don't get it. And then like just the idea that this shitty game came like which they obviously had some really good ideas and pretty much they're held back by how bad they were at making games, like the devs, that I mean, the fact that that came out the same year as Half-Life 2 just amazes me because of how shitty it is compared to it. I mean, I don't know. It's just, oh, I need a cough. Oh, fuck. Well, yeah. So Chrome is a shitty game. Okay, yeah, probably should have closed the window. Yeah, it came out the same year as Half-Life 2. And it looks really bad compared to it. Like like I said, it almost looks as good as Quake 2. And it feels like you're skating. And the AI is so bad. Like the moment they see you, they immediately do a 180 and then shoot you in the face. They will never miss. The only time they won't shoot you is when they have like a shotgun and you're just close enough for them to see you, but you're too far away for them to actually hit you with the shotgun. Or B, when you're just too far away for them to even notice you, which is really bad. And they can't hear gunshots unless they're within the same range in which they would see you. So pretty much you're killing all of their friends and they won't hear you because you are 1 meter out of their hearing range. And then there's the fact that, say, there are some towers where some enemies have sniper rifles. They will see you all the way across the map and will shoot you through walls and at angles in which they wouldn't be able to shoot you. But all the guys around them won't notice that they're shooting at you. Which is just two polar opposites of AI. And it looks really weird. when you actually see like a dude in a tower shooting at you, and then at the bottom, like the bottom of the tower is surrounded by enemies, and they don't know that the dude up in the tower is shooting, and they don't look over to see what he's shooting at and shoot at it too. They don't go towards it to shoot at it. They just stand there and they don't even acknowledge the fact that their friend is trying to shoot someone. Which is just ridiculous. The AI is so bad. It's just really bad, and then the animations are really well, except for the reload animations. Those are actually kind of decent, but like the recoil animations look like complete shit, and the stabbing animation with the knife, it doesn't even look like you're stabbing someone. It looks like you're poking them. It's just really bad, but I'm having so much fun with it. And then after that I played, well, I haven't finished it, but I took a break and decided to play a little bit of Heroes and Generals, which is the free-to-play multiplayer World War II FPS. Which I was playing really bad for some reason. Like I was going 1-17, but I was having so much fun playing it that I don't understand it. Because normally, like, if I was playing that bad, I wouldn't be having a lot of fun. Like, I wouldn't be really mad. Like, I wouldn't be mad, but I wouldn't be enjoying myself as much as I did when I played it. I guess Chrome just, like, lowered my standards of how much fun I can have. Like, now I can have more fun playing bad games, which is always good, because then there's more games that you can enjoy. So, yeah, that's one thing. I also played Fear 2. I finished that. The story is complete shit. I mean, the gameplay is pretty decent, but they somehow managed to fuck up the shotgun, which was amazing in Fear 1. And, well, they fixed, that's like fixed in quotation marks, because I mean, well, they fixed the automatic weapons like the SMGs and the assault rifles because they just feel better, but the shotgun is just like, it feels like so bad. Like there's not as much weight behind it as there was in Fear 1. And I also might be thinking that it's shit because I also played Painkiller, which has one of like the most amazing shotguns in gaming history. Because there's just the sound effect behind the shotgun in Painkiller is just so amazing. And then there's also the fact that you're shooting a quad-barreled semi-automatic shotgun. Which is... that gun's just amazing, and it causes so much damage. Painkiller's awesome. It's just, it's amazing. So yeah, I was talking about Fear 2. Yeah, they managed to fuck up the shotguns, which is kind of odd. And the assault rifles, they feel better than they did in Fear 1. But they turned it into pretty much as Call of Duty. Like, really. That's what they did. Pistol is still complete shit, though. They kept that. Yeah, and I played Medal of Honor Airborne, which I thought was going to be shit, but was actually really good. But it was only 4 hours long. It was short, but good, and it made me want to play it more, but I already finished it, and the multiplayer was pretty much dead, or just no one was on at that time. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. Oh yeah, I also played Tron 2.0, which was made by Monolith, the same guys that made Fear 1, Fear 2. Yeah, they actually made a Tron FPS, which it is really good, but it has jumping puzzles. No one wants jumping puzzles in an FPS. No one wants it. That's one of the reasons why I kind of hated Mirror's Edge. It's because it's pretty much just jumping puzzles. But no one wants platforming in an FPS. No one does. And that's like a quarter of the game in Tron 2.0. So if you can't handle jumping puzzles, then don't play Tron 2.0. But if you don't completely hate them, but you dislike them, it is worth it just for how good the game is. And if you enjoy first-person jumping puzzles, I question what you like in life, but play it because it has them. No one should like first-person jumping puzzles. They're really, really bad and really hard to control, especially when it's a game from like early 2000s. I mean, the movement isn't as bad as it is in Chrome, but it's not as like transparent as it feels in like more recent games like CS:GO. And it doesn't help that you can't play it in 16:9 resolutions. Which you can't in Chrome either. Like with Chrome, you can't do widescreen resolutions without monitoring the config files. Which then also requires you to go through more config files to change the font size. Because if you don't, then the font size is pretty much, like, it's as thin as a hair without changing it, and it's just really bad changing it. Because you have to change the font size for every single menu. So every single menu in the game, you have to go and change the font size for the main menu, the inventory screen, the computer hacking menu, the implant menu, which, like the cybernetic implants, that system is really confusing in Chrome. Which is, oh, you have this implant, you push this button to activate it, and then you have this bar which when it goes up, the implant will disable and you'll take like 2 damage. Well, I mean, I don't really understand it. Why not just have the implants and have them be like upgrades that you put skill points into as you like level up in the game, adding some kind of RPG elements, but no, it's just a thing that you push a numpad key to turn on, and then if you have it on for too long, you take 2 damage, and you have to wait for it to recharge. I mean, that system could have worked much better if they just put it in that way than the way it was, and maybe you would actually use it. And one of the implants is literally just auto-aim, which the only time that you would actually need it is during the boss fights where there's like a dude in a really fast moving tank or like a fucking walker and you have a rocket launcher. That's the only time that you would ever actually use the auto aim thing. And then with some guns they make it that the spread is just ridiculous unless you turn on the auto aim. So you can't hit shit unless you're at point blank range unless you turn on the auto aim, which doesn't make any sense at all. The implant system is just really fucked in that game. Pretty much they tried to be Deus Ex, but failed miserably. And then there's the fact that, like, the game is pretty long, but it's not long because there's so many levels. It's long because pretty much the levels are just pretty much they just throw you into like a really big map with enemies in it, and they say go here and do this shit, and then you're done. And pretty much like half the game is walking to the objectives without there being any enemies in sight, or backtracking through areas in which you've already killed all of the enemies, and no more enemies will spawn. Also, in some missions, there's random dinosaurs that will kill you, which for some reason take like 5 assault rifle magazines to kill, which doesn't make any sense at all. But they take like 3 hits to kill you. Oh yeah, and also those 5 assault rifle magazines are all emptied into their face. And they don't have any like bone type armor thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they don't have like an armored face or anything. No, they just have, you just shoot them in the face with 5 mags and then they die. And they hit you 3 times and you die. And also the sound design in that game is complete shit. It's just really, really bad. So really, if you want to lower your standards to games, play Chrome. It will lower your standards for games, and you will be able to enjoy shitty games again. Which, you know, is really... Not that Heroes and Generals is a shitty game. It's just at that moment that I was playing, it was really shitty, and I was enjoying it somehow. However, if there is one good thing to say about Chrome, I mean, for its time, it had really good ragdoll physics. Like, on par with Half-Life 2. It still looks like complete ass for its time. And the sound design is complete shit. Pretty much compare it to anything else from its time and it's shit. Compare it to anything from a few years before its time and it looks amazing. Or, well, half decent is probably more appropriate to say. Because unless you compare it to like something on the fucking Atari Jaguar, it's not gonna look amazing. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. And this audio will probably be put on top of either footage from Painkiller or Viscera Cleanup Detail, which are 2 really amazing games on Steam. Viscera Cleanup Detail, it's only in early access, but it's $8, and if you buy it, you don't just get Viscera Cleanup Detail, you also get the 2 spin-off games, which is Viscera Cleanup Detail, Shadow Warrior, and Santa's Rampage. So that's a really good game, but it's in early access, and it's completely based around physics. And it has better physics than Half-Life 2, because if a lot of the game is like putting stuff into a box and then putting the box into a furnace, and the game doesn't completely spaz out when you do that. Yeah, so get Viscera Cleanup Detail, and Painkiller, and Chrome if you want your standard of games to be lowered. And Medal of Honor Airborne is surprisingly good, which is really weird because I saw some reviews and expected it to be shit, but it was amazing. Except there were some really weird moments where, like, a ragdoll's hand got caught on a wall and it, like, stretched out. It was worse than the Battlefield 3 beta with the giraffe necks, because it was worth every single part of the body. Which is really weird. But, you know, if you ignore that, it's a really good game. The gunplay is solid, and I mean, the story is pretty much just you're the airborne from World War II. You parachute in, you kill Germans, and you blow shit up. And that's it. But you don't really play Medal of Honor for the plot, do you? You play it for the gunplay and and the graphics, which for its time were decent, but there was a lot of like gray and brown, which I don't blame it for it because I mean it's World War II. I mean it's World War II on the European front. So what else is there besides bombed and burnt out towns and cities? There's nothing else. I mean, maybe the woods, but there wouldn't really be woods if, like, in the battle for Berlin, would there? You wouldn't expect there to be just a wooded area in Berlin. I mean, there were some wooded areas on the other levels, like the D-Day level, but there wasn't much because the levels were actually kind of small. So, expect more videos like this where I just talk into a microphone and put it over some gameplay, because I have 5 hours of gameplay from Viscera Cleanup Detail. I think 5 hours. I think I pretty much recorded pretty much all of that game that I played. So 4 hours. Well, maybe a little under 4 hours. Yeah, expect a lot of a lot of like videos like this. So yeah, that was me explaining why I haven't made any videos and some games that I played, such as Viscera Cleanup Detail and Medal of Honor and Chrome and Fear 2. Oh yeah, and I didn't mention that I played Wolfenstein and it was amazing. Wolfenstein New Order. That game is fucking awesome, go buy it. I also tried out Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I mean, it's good, but it wasn't good enough for me to actually finish it. And that was probably because I played it after I played Wolfenstein New Order. But, yeah. It is better than Chrome, I will give you that. But I will actually finish Chrome. Because the reason why you play Chrome is not because it's good. Because it isn't. So yeah, see you in the next video, whenever that is, because I probably won't be bored. That I won't have as much time because I'm back in school. So, goodbye and see you whenever.